Millionaire CEO dumped milk over the cleaner's head. What happened next ended his career. The grand marble lobby of Westview Corporate Tower gleamed under the morning sun, its floors so polished they mirrored the sky. Every day, people in expensive suits and glossy shoes walked past a quiet man in faded overalls, Henry, the janitor. To them, he was invisible, a background blur to their high-stakes world of profits and power. But Henry was anything but ordinary. He arrived early, always with a warm nod for the receptionist, and left late, after everyone had gone. He never complained, even when his mop broke, even when he had to clean up after others' careless messes. And though he looked tired, there was kindness in his eyes, the kind that came from life experience, humility, and perhaps a quiet pain he carried alone. On one particularly chaotic Monday, CEO Charles Whitaker stormed into the lobby, barking orders into his phone. Tall, sleek, and arrogant, Charles was the face of the company, ruthless in business, feared by employees. That morning, he carried a $12 iced vanilla milk from his favorite uptown cafe, which he tossed dramatically into the trash after one sip. "This tastes like garbage," he sneered. Henry, nearby with his mop, looked up just in time to see the lid of the trash can fall off, spilling the unfinished drink across the floor. "I've got it, sir," Henry said, approaching quickly. Charles turned. "You again," he scoffed. "You've been mopping that same floor for 10 minutes. Before Henry could respond, Charles grabbed the almost full cup from the bin and, without warning, dumped the sticky milkshake over Henry's head. The lobby gasped. Everyone froze. The thick, cold drink ran down Henry's face and uniform. His hands shook, but he didn't say a word. Not a single one. He just stood there, drenched, staring at the man who had humiliated him so publicly. Charles laughed. "There. Now maybe you'll clean faster." The silence that followed was deafening. But one person didn't stay silent. Her name was Maya Tran, a young marketing intern who had watched the scene unfold from the side. Her voice trembled but was firm. "That was disgusting," she said loudly, eyes locked on Charles. "And if no one else is going to say something, I will." Charles rolled his eyes. "You're an intern. You're replaceable." "Maybe. But he's a human being," Maya snapped. "And you're just a bully in a designer suit." The elevator doors closed behind Charles as he stormed away. But the damage had been done, and not to Henry. Within hours, Maya's recorded video of the incident hit social media. It wasn't just the image of Henry soaked in coffee milk that broke people's hearts. It was his silence. His dignity. The tears in the corners of his eyes he quickly wiped away, pretending they weren't there. The video spread like wildfire. By evening, hashtags like #JusticeForHenry and #CEOResign trended globally. News stations replayed the clip, influencers reacted, and people everywhere, from janitors to executives, voiced their outrage. "He didn't even fight back," one comment read. "He just stood there like he'd been through worse. That man has a story." And he did. The next day, Henry didn't come to work. But by the following morning, something extraordinary happened. The Westview Board of Directors issued a statement: Charles Whitaker had been terminated. Effective immediately. In his place, an interim CEO was appointed, Maya Tran. Though young and relatively inexperienced, the board believed her empathy, leadership, and courage were what the company truly needed. But the story didn't end there. Maya reached out to Henry and invited him to speak at the company's town hall. At first, he hesitated, shy and unsure. But when he stepped up to that microphone, the entire room rose in a standing ovation. "I've been cleaning floors for 22 years, Henry said. I've seen people at their worst, but I've also seen kindness. I don't hold hate in my heart for what happened. I only hope people remember this: no one is better than anyone else. Whether you're holding a mop or running a company, how you treat others says everything about who you really are." Maya stood and joined him on stage, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Henry," she said through tears, "this company owes you more than an apology. Starting today, we're creating a scholarship fund in your name to support children of custodial workers nationwide." The crowd erupted. Henry's eyes welled up, this time with joy. From that day on, Henry didn't return to the mop. He chose to retire. Using the fund, Maya started to visit schools, sharing his story, teaching the next generation that dignity, compassion, and courage matter more than titles or salaries. As for Charles Whitaker, he disappeared from the headlines. But his name became a cautionary tale, a reminder of what happens when power overshadows humanity. And in a world that often celebrates the loudest voices, it was the quiet strength of a janitor that reminded everyone, true greatness begins with kindness.